There we go. We are officially live in multiple places at the same time. Isn't that fun? It's so fun. Technology is so fun. You guys, there is so much that we have to talk about today. Probably should have made notes. I may forget something. I feel like hold on, watch my finger. It's like slightly over, kind of weird. I feel like I'm going to forget something. So hopefully some of my team is online and can remind me. I do have my phone. It is not on do not disturb. So hopefully I will see your comments, because sometimes you guys text me and then I don't even see them. It's really bad. Okay. It's really bad. But anyways, hopefully I don't forget anything. We have a lot to talk about. There's been a lot of updates. There's currently a lot happening. I don't know if anyone has been on our Instagram. If you go on our Instagram right now, you may see some unloading happening, some large boxes that, it's not very clear what those are. Some of you have heard us talk about the fact that we are getting a new printer, and it's happening right now. This is the moment. This is the time. We had hoped that this was going to come in a while ago. We had hoped to get all our ducks in a row and have this printer in time for the sale, but it did not happen that way. And so that's one of the reasons we've been a little bit slower. We've actually had multiple printers going in multiple locations. We've had one that's working on our daily orders, and we've had one that's been working on our sale orders. And our family really has been working around the clock to get these out to you. And it's just been a really crazy season. It's been night shifts, weekend shifts. We haven't been to church in like a month. It's just been everyday work, trying to get these out to you. But I am really excited to let you guys know that we are for sale orders. We are going to be done by next week, for sure by end of next week, but probably even earlier than that. We are on track. We're on our last little bit of orders. Thank you so much for your patience. You guys have been waiting very patiently. And we always really aim to get these out to you before September, which for us is the start of school year as Canadians. For some of you guys, starting in August, threw us for a little bit of a loop, but we have been working really diligently to get these out to you in the midst of many other things that we've been implementing and setting up, like a brand new inventory system and scanning and barcodes that are maybe incorrectly printed on some things and not scanning properly, and a host of issues that we've been working through to try to get this stuff out. So anyways, very exciting. That's the first one. So if you have ordered in the last week and maybe are waiting for your orders, it's just important to note that this is our back to school season, which is the busiest season of the year. A lot of homeschool companies, they order bulk from China or somewhere. They're ordering from a large printing company that they are hosting and storing in their warehouses, and then they're shipping it out to you. For us, that makes it a little bit easier to manage inventory. For us, we print essentially on demand. So we are switching to an inventory system. But in saying that, we're still always going to be kind of printing to order. It's just going to be for orders a few days from now, so that we can kind of keep production moving. And if our printer goes down or something happens, we're not dead in the water. So that's what we're leaning towards. But knowing that we create these based on your orders, then it gives a little bit of context as to why things are maybe a little slower lately. We're really still trying to stay within that 5 business days window for your orders. When we are finished on our sale orders, then basically both of our warehouses are going to start working on dailies, get our orders caught up, and then we're actually going to be shutting down one and hopefully setting up our new printer and having that operational. This new printer, you guys are going to want to watch on Instagram. We will be posting stuff all throughout this week. It has been 4 hours and they are still unloading semi-trucks, plural, in our back property. There's massive boxes everywhere. It's going to take quite a while just to even get everything in and situated and out of the boxes. Then we have probably a full week of setting everything up, and then we have a full week of training on all of the things. So it's going to be busy over here, what we've got orders happening and are trying to get situated on a brand new printer, but you are going to want to see this printer. This is the top of the line, okay? This is the printer that Amazon uses. This is the printer that any big publishing company uses. This is the digital printing press of the future. And so it's massive, and we are going to be able to increase our production by a lot. And so we really believe that this is the future of the company, and we're excited to see it continue to grow. So stay tuned on Instagram if you have it for little updates, and we will eventually do like a real kind of video we'll put together in a week or two that shows all of the progress. We'll put it all into one, and we will post that for you guys because you've been a part of this journey with us. Some of you guys have been here from the very beginning. Some of you guys have been here from early on, and you've gotten to see our journey. We are not, this nameless, faceless company. We are family. We are families. We are, all of us are homeschool parents that are sitting in our homes trying to homeschool our kids and create curriculum for you. And so I think that makes it a little bit unique. It also means you guys have gotten to be a part of this story, of this journey. We have, developed this homeschool curriculum really together through your guys' feedback. We have taken those ideas and feedback and things you liked and didn't like and been able to implement that into the curriculum and into our development and into our processes and all of the things. You guys have watched us move from Canada down to the United States. And now watching us go from, we started off with one little kind of school church photocopier type printer in our basement, hand punching everything, to where we are today. We went to 4 printing presses, then we went to 2 larger printing presses, and now here we are entering into the inkjet world, which is whole different ball game. All right. So very exciting. And we are just so thankful for each and every one of you that have chosen to partner with us in one way or another, even if it's just buying your homeschool curriculum and you had no idea what you were a part of. You are a part of what we believe is a kingdom-minded business that is having an impact for his glory. And so we're just really excited that you guys are a part of that with us. Okay. So that was my first big announcement, is that we are almost through our sale orders, and then we're going to be getting through our daily orders and getting on track, and that we have a new printer that we can hopefully now go a lot faster on things. And so we won't be so bogged down in the future through our sales. Big, exciting thing. Another big, exciting thing, which actually a lot of you are not going to be aware of. This is something that only people who joined our wait list got to hear about first thing this morning. And hopefully those people that really wanted to have not had an opportunity to sign up. But we are starting an online academy. Our online academy is going to be very flexible. It's subscription-based, so you can join, cancel, or pause your subscription at any time. It is designed to be done by the whole family. You don't have to pay for each individual student. And it's something that can help with, for those of you that maybe are feeling isolated, you live more remotely, or you're struggling to get integrated into your communities or your churches, or if you're struggling with motivation and you need some accountability and just something to kind of keep you going. For a lot of us, consistency is really difficult. And so the online academy is very flexible, not just on that it's a subscription base, but also that you can choose your frequency, whether it's one day a week where you tune in and get to hear the lesson being read, or 2 days a week, or whether it's every single lesson. But we have announced it, said we're going to do it, said some proposed pricing models. This is what we're thinking. But I have to find teachers. And so that was kind of the last update that I said, and I have it all finalized. Are you guys ready to hear the details? Look at this. My button broke. Don't judge me. Okay, so the details, I feel like we need a drum roll. I need some like effects in here. Where's my kids doing the cricket sounds or something awkward? The details are, I did receive a number of really great applications. Some of you may have applied for this role. And so I am going to get to the point where I email everybody, but I want to thank everybody who did apply for this role. What I found was I was struggling with either there was issues with video quality, lighting, sound, or it was, and I think maybe part of it is even my vision kind of lives up here in my head. I was finding that either we were going to lose younger kids in delivery or lose older kids in delivery. Another kind of issue that I felt like we may run into was just in reading the lesson, how much of it is read versus how much are we getting that eye contact. And in this past year, we ended up doing kind of our own version of this through our Gather Round team, the people that work here. There's about 50 different families that are all, a part of Gather Round in some way or another. And so we had an on-site class for people who worked here and locally. And then we also had it online. And so we invited some of our staff members to participate. And I learned some things in this process that gave me a little bit of a vision for what I feel like this needs to look like. It can't just be reading it. It has to have eye contact. But some of it does need to be read. I don't want to just ignore the lesson. And so how does that happen? And so I felt like in the beginning and through prayer, talking to my husband, I bring everything to Jonathan. And the reason is because he is my tether. Okay. Because I'm an idea person. I have so many ideas. I'm like, we could do this. We could do this. Yeah, sure. I'll do that. But Jonathan is the one who's like, whoa, now. Okay, you'll die. And he's right. And so anyways, I brought it to him and he is in supports, which, is always kind of my last confirmation from the Lord, that I'm going to be teaching at least in the beginning. So I'm not promising I'm going to do everything for the entire year, but I'm going to be the teacher for the Gather Round Online Academy. And I think that in the beginning, at least for our first few units, it will hopefully allow us to create a bit of a template that if we did find somebody else who was able to kind of take it on, if our class sizes get too big and we needed to stop accepting and maybe open up multiple different ones, it will give us at least a template to follow of this is what I'm looking for. But right now, everything is living up here in my head. And I think that it's hard for people to be able to, try to fit in what is a vision that I haven't maybe articulated very well. So all that to say, if you join the Online Academy, you are going to have me as your teacher, as your kids teacher. And what is going to happen is I am going to, we have our kids on site, my own kids included, and they're going to be doing school here. But just like your kids, they're going to be looking at a screen. I am not going to teach in that classroom. One of the things that we came across when we tried this online hybrid model of some people there, some people not, was that when you are teaching and there are people in front of you, just like with an online church, you're talking to the people in front of you. And the people online just kind of have to get used to the fact that this isn't really geared for them. I'm reversing that. I'm actually going to go to my studio and I'm going to record over there, and this will be live. So that's one thing we hadn't fully decided on. This is going to be live, which means your kids are going to be able to kind of get that experience. I polled my own children who said that they felt like pre-recorded was boring. They wanted it to be live. They wanted it to feel interactive. And so it's going to be live, but I will be recording over there. I will be live streaming from somewhere else. So I will actually be just like this, talking right to my camera, to your students. I will be going through and doing the lesson. So the teacher's guide reading is going to be done essentially for you. And I'm going to go through the student pages and explain the homework and make sure that everyone understands what needs to happen. I'm currently in the process of setting up 3 separate communities on our app, that these will be by invite only. And when you purchase a subscription, you would be added into the private community where you would be able to tune into the live videos as well as share examples of your work. The kids could upload examples of their pages. They could create their own accounts and say, here's my page, here's what I've made, and get feedback and encouragement from each other. They will be able to create events. So one thing that my daughter, my teenage daughter, Selah, who many of you know from our Instagram and social media, she's like, I want to do Bible studies. You should do Bible studies. And I'm like, you can do Bible studies. You guys can create events. You guys can go live within. You guys could create, all sorts of different virtual communities, live Bible study, Lego group. I mean, whatever you guys want to do, but your kids are actually going to have this safe community of homeschool kids who are in the same frequency as them. So they're going to be the ones participating in the online classes. When it's live, they're going to be talking in the comments and be able to interact with one another. So they're going to kind of get to know each other. And so it's going to, I think, bring in the community aspect that maybe is missing for some of us in our homeschools. So I'm really excited about it. I think that this is going to be just revolutionary for many of our homeschools. And for those of us, like I said, that are struggling with consistency or just feeling like our kids are needing a little bit more community, I think that this is going to be a really great fit for a lot of you guys. And again, you have the ability to cancel at any time. So all of this information is available on the website. I have gone through and I have done a whole bunch of edits. I added a frequently asked questions section at the bottom that explains some more. You'll notice that our units are 5 weeks long. That's how long they are. 4 days a week times 5 weeks is 20 lessons. And we are doing all units that are 20 lessons. So that means that for a lot of them, they're going to cross over into 2 months for a subscription model, which is based on a monthly subscription. And I explain why that is in the frequently asked questions, but basically there was just no pretty way around that. Even if I tried to extend it, I still was going to run into it because there are breaks. There's Christmas break, there's fall break, there's Thanksgiving, there's holidays. Those things have to be worked in just like they would with a school. If you paid to go to, a Christian school, there's still all of those things built into it. So it wasn't something that I could just find a way around without us having individual purchase this unit. And that got really hard to manage. It also meant that we were regularly having to manage, and we wanted to have the flexibility of you managing it. So we tried to keep it as affordable as possible and then leave it in your court as a subscription that you can join or leave at any time. So yes, if you're to subscribe, there's a chance that you would, pause your subscription, join again, and you'd be getting the tail end of this unit, and you could join in on that if you wanted. And then you would be able to get the next one and have to continue another month in order to do that. But the idea is it's super flexible and you get to be the one managing your subscription for your family. So yes, we are very, very excited about it. If anyone is on the app right now and wants to share the link, I have it open because I've gone to it so many times. I have become a coder together with ChatGPT. I've spent many hours creating all of these landing pages. Have you guys seen all of the landing pages lately? There's a new one that we made for for the village. And it's so cool. So I had to bring that in. I don't know if you guys noticed I don't know, there's a few things that are the same. Like, I love doing the video on the screen. Come on, it's so unique. There's even like a little button on the clicker of the computer. It's just fun. Okay. So yeah, you guys can find it there. Let's see. Is there a time set for the live? There is. That's a great question. I was going to answer that and I've forgotten. It is going to be 10 a.m. Eastern to 11 a.m. Eastern. Hopefully that works for our Easterners, for our Central Time, even for our Mountain Time. I think that's all within the realm of when school would typically start. It may be a little tricky for those of you in Pacific Time, or if you are in Alaska or some of those other places. So how is it going to work for those of you who are tuning in from another region? You are going to have access. So basically how it's going to happen is if you're already in our app, you may be familiar. I'm live in the app right now. So in your private area of the app, there would be a live video like this where your kids are going to be able to engage and comment and listen to their lesson. After that, it's going to take about an hour for that video to process and for us to be able to download it, and then we will post the replay. So just kind of like our resources, there's going to be a section on there. Then we're going to preset it up for everything where we'll go in and we will have, here's the resource links for this lesson. Here is anything else that maybe we talk about that they may need or that we do. And then here is the replay. And so in that, yes, it will take us about an hour to get that all up, but you would really be able to join in and do this at any time. If you have a doctor's appointment, if you miss a day, if you're sick, if you want to do one on the road, if you want to do one in the evening instead, you really can make this as flexible as you want to make it. And your kids are still going to be benefiting from the online community aspect because we have a feed where they can post pictures of their work and they can ask questions and do polls and interact and engage with one another. And we will have a paid moderator in these different groups that is going to be watching, monitoring, making sure, we're going to start off September 4th with a trial run. We are going to do a meet and greet with all 3 classes at the same time, go live. Everyone's going to get to see a little bit of what it's like. I'm coming up with my kids. I was like, what's something fun we could do that's not corny, for those older ones. Okay. We're thinking about that. So we're going to come up with something, I don't know, a game, icebreaker. I was like, whatever. Eventually, I was even thinking, I could let the kids, as they get to know me a little bit, like challenge, and it would be like, if you do really well and everyone completes their work, or everybody posts a sample of what they did, or everyone posts their unit project, then I will read the whole next lesson in an accent, or I'll dress up like, I don't know, whatever. We're going to have fun, you guys. The goal with this is to have fun. It's to engage our kids. It's to get them excited about school. And it's really to offer you support. For those of you that are like, I don't want to do online school, I want to do school with my kids. You can. I'm going to do the lesson, I'm going to do the reading, and you can just come 1 day a week or 2 days a week and do the others yourself. Or you can have that little bit of extra support, that oomph to get you started on your day. And then you can do those student pages with your kids together. If you've got older kids that maybe are like wanting to do everything independently, now they don't have to wait. They're going to sit, they can do that lesson, and they're able to just go off and do their pages on their own. So no matter how you are needing the support, I do think that the Academy can offer it. And you have to understand that just like making Gather Round units, where we relied so heavily on your feedback, because I'm so intimately involved in this, especially in the beginning, we don't actually know really what it's going to look like. And I have a feeling that it's going to evolve and change through your guys' feedback, through your kids' feedback, as they're sharing what works and what doesn't and what they like. And we're talking about maybe doing... This is crazy, but I was saying with astronomy, I'm like, maybe we do like a meetup in Florida at, the, whatever it is. You guys, don't judge me, okay? I'm not American yet. But anyways, whatever. Or we could go to like a space museum. Like, I know most people won't be able to come. I know that, but maybe we could live stream it for those that can. And the ones that could, maybe we do something like that. The kids were saying, maybe we could do a missions trip together, or maybe we could do, these kids are going to get to know each other. There's going to be a sense of community that when we do a Gathered in His Name event, which we want to do in person for 2026, all of a sudden now these kids, it's going to be like a bit of a reunion. There's going to be a sense of camaraderie and connection in, I think, a really unique way. We were thinking maybe for each unit, we can have some sort of an expert come in that, whether it's a Q&A or whether I, do the first bit of the lesson, I really think that we can make this unique. I think we can make this fun. I think we can make this engaging. I think that we can take our homeschools to the next level without compromising on our values or even losing out on us being the primary teacher of our children. You guys know Gather Round, you know my heart, you know this curriculum, but aside from that, you also ultimately have all control over what you want this to look like for you and for your home. So I think it's going to be, I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited about it. And I think I've got my kids on board. And that is a big deal. When you've got your kids on board, that's a big deal, because you guys know they're not always eager, especially older teenagers. They're not always eager. So anyways, we're going to have our kids personally. They're going to start off at 9 a.m. with seat work and with their math. And they're doing modular math, which, by the way, is releasing, and we'll talk a little bit more about. And then they are going to do the lesson 10 to 11. And then at 11 o'clock, they're going to have a 15-minute recess. This is like our staff school, okay? And then at 11:15, they are going to come in and they're going to do their student pages until around 12:15, 12:30. And then they're going to have a lunch. And then some of my kids are going to work and some of them are they could do sports or whatever else they want to do. We're talking about doing some extracurricular things. Some of the months where maybe we only have a few weeks, an example of that would be Christmas. It's only 3 weeks long. I thought to kind of beef it up, we could maybe do hey, let's do an afternoon, kind of those fine arts extracurricular things. Let's do let's bake cookies together, or let's learn how to wrap presents together and let's have like a present wrapping party. I think we could get really creative, you guys. And the thing is because these private communities in there, I'm setting the access where you guys, the users, including your children, will be able to set up events, meaning live events, and be able to post things. There's going to be a lot of flexibility for them to even kind of create, you know, different courses, or you guys to come in and create different resources. And so it doesn't just have to be us. This can be something that is bigger and even better. So yes, 10 to 11 Eastern time. All of these details are available on the website, which is gatheraroundhomeschool.com/pages/academy. You can actually just go to /academy and it's going to redirect you there. But the 3 classes. Okay, so there are 3 different subscription models, not necessarily 3 different classes, but the subscription models, we're breaking them up into 3 different groups. And the reason for that is because some of them are on different days, and also so that the group that you choose to sign up for, the frequency that you choose to sign up for, we want you to be with the same people the entire time, because one of the values is that we want to build community, and we want our kids to be able to engage and feel like they're maybe getting a piece that they might be missing in their churches or their communities. So if you sign up for 1 day a week, that's the Tuesday class. So you're going to have a private group in the app that you would be invited to that is called the Tuesday Online Academy class. And so in there, you're going to be together with everybody else who's only joining you on Tuesdays. This is also a way of kind of breaking it up so it doesn't get too large. If it does get really, really, really big, we will have to probably shut down subscriptions, because we don't want it to get so large where we're struggling and we feel like we can't really get what we're looking for, which is community. So those are things to think about. Our Tuesday, Thursday class, so that's 2 days a week access, that you're going to be together with in the app people who are also taking the Tuesday, Thursday class, so that you are all interacting and all engaging together. And if you choose the all access, where you're doing all 4 days of the week, and again, you could just do 3, or you could do 4 1 week and do 2 the next. You get to be as flexible as you want to and make it what you want, but you'll get access to it all. Then you would have a different private community in the app, and that would be all people who are also doing every day of the week. So you're going to be together with the group that is chosen to do the same subscription model as you. Can you change your subscription at any time? Yes, you can manage it. You can pause it, you can cancel it, or you can upgrade it to a different one if you want. So you can really make this, again, as flexible as you need it to be. That being said, it is a monthly subscription model. Just like with anything else, there's going to be maybe some parts you'll use and some parts you won't use. But again, we try to keep it as affordable as possible with that in mind, while still giving you the flexibility to manage it. So hopefully that helps. Okay. The first unit is astronomy. So December 25th, that's our Christmas break. So if you go onto the site, and you'll see the list of units, and then scroll down and you will see the schedule. And I did align that schedule with a lot of the school breaks. Because while homeschoolers, we can do whatever we want. The reality is some of those breaks are built around Thanksgiving and holidays that we're going to want to take off anyways, like Christmas and New Year's. Also, for a lot of people, some people have kids that some are in school and some are not. Some people, you're wanting to take family vacations with people who are trying to align with the school schedule. And so I felt like it would be the easiest if we aligned that way. So I kind of chose, I know that every school is kind of different. It may not align for you, but that is what I went off of. So yeah, for December 25th, we're going to be on break. So we're doing school the first 3 weeks of December, and then there will be a break, just like every other school, for winter around Christmas and New Year's, and we would resume again in January. Hopefully that helps. Okay. I know there's observatories. I'm like, you guys, there's not going to be any required resources for this. I'm not going to be like, everyone needs to have a telescope, but we're going to talk about them and, show them I have a telescope. And again, try to make this as interactive as possible. I was even thinking, can we do a live one, a stargazing night one night? I don't know how that would be possible, but whatever. Well, You guys, we're gonna be making this as we go. So, I mean, share your ideas if you have ideas. Some of you have already reached out and you're like, hey, I know someone, that may be interested, or would you want, yes, send your feedback. I'm going to have, especially once we have, the people chosen that are going to sign up for it, I'm going to have a form you fill out where you're going to be putting in, if some of your kids are going to want their own app accounts. They're not going to want to have just one family account where their siblings and them are all commenting, especially our teenagers. The reality is they are going to want to have, at least my teenagers, their own account with their own picture where they can all comment at the same time and everybody knows who's commenting. I didn't say that. That was my crazy brother, right? Okay. So with that in mind, I'm going to need to know who to add. And so if you've got younger kids, they may not be interacting at all. If you've got older kids, they may really want to have their own. And so I'm going to need to know any email addresses. And then if you did cancel or pause your subscription, I also need to know that to be able to remove you from those groups during the months that you're not subscribed. Where was I going with that? Filling out the form. Oh, in there, I'm also, apparently I did a thumbs up. In there, I'm also going to have, a place and a forum for you guys to be able to share feedback. So as you get involved, I'm going to want to know, what you're liking, what you're not liking, what feedback you have, if there's, any additional things you want to see added. So I think that there's going to be a lot of room for stuff like that as well, where you guys get to help steer this as we go. That being said, you have to know. So number one, yes, there is a chance we will have to shut down subscriptions if there are too many. You can sign up at gatherunhomeschool.com/academy. The first 150 people who sign up for the academy are going to get a welcome package. And so I talk a little bit about it there, but we are currently developing at a rapid pace a unit planner that your kids are going to get for the first one. And I don't know if some of you heard me talk about the If the Lord Wills planner, but we're hoping to do it along those lines. But really targeted for one specific, one unit. So they can do it from beginning to end. There would be rubric for, how you think you did. There would be maybe a report card that you could do for that. But then also having that planner where they can plan out their school and all the different things. So we're working on something like that for your students, a friction pen that says gather on it and is erasable. So they can use that in their planners, as well as a gift for mom. And so we're kind of putting together a welcome package, because I recognize if you sign up now, is set to the day you sign up is when your subscription starts. And I did that because we're going to have people signing up and leaving whenever they want. I don't want to have it be the first of the month, so then you have to join on certain days. So it's very flexible. If you sign up now, though, school's not starting until September 4th is our trial day. So some of you may be thinking, well, then, I'm going to have some weeks where nothing's happening, which yes, is going to be happening all year, right? Because we've got breaks and different things and holidays. But that's one of the reasons that we put together this welcome package for the first 150 people. So signing up early allows us to start to put together the different groups on our app and get everybody added and work out some of the kinks and do this trial day. And so we want to have people on board. And the benefit to you is that we're going to be sending out this welcome package, which I think is going to be pretty great. So we'll probably throw in a few surprise things, but it's going to be worth quite a bit. We'll put it that way. So I think it's going to be a fantastic little surprise. We're going to be sending those out around September 2nd, right after Labor Day. So, okay. For those of you in the Village, check out the Village. We're going to be talking a little bit more tomorrow. The Village is a private community on the app that is a subscription-based model, and they get different things like early access and discounts and different things like that. So we do have some things that we want to make sure you guys are aware of over there. So make sure you're checking it out in the Village, as well as joining our scheduled live tomorrow. Okay. Are we ready? Are there more questions? I'm sure there are. 10 a.m. Eastern. You guys already got this. Will we know what the lessons will be? Yeah, so this year I pre-announced them at the sale so that when people were purchasing their books for the year, they would know. That's why we kind of announced, even though there was just a wait list, we announced what we were doing so you guys could plan and get your books. We will try to do that same thing for next year. So we would have it available before the back to school sale. And we are hoping to do our back to school sale earlier for 2020. 26. We're hoping to do it maybe, I'm thinking maybe May, just a little bit earlier so that we're getting things out for some of you who are starting school a little bit earlier. So hopefully that gives a little bit more breathing room as well. So yeah, definitely. As far as I'm going to be teaching the classes, as far as who's going to be moderating, we're still working on those details. But it's going to be me that is teaching. So pray for me. Because I am a person, okay, a person who lives for days that I do not have to put on makeup, do my hair, or, wear professional clothing. I mean, I live for sweatpants. That's just my vibe. And so my life has been changing. We now work off site. And so I drive to work and I'm coming to an office place. And that means that 4 days of the week, I have to get dressed and do makeup. And so anyways, I know that sounds like such a first world problem, but I feel emotionally drained just thinking about it. Okay. Unit, we're starting off with astronomy as our first unit. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to move on to, we have one more thing that I had wanted to talk about. I know that there may be more questions. I don't know if you guys saw, side note, but we are going hard and strong on our 50 state series. And we released our very first one was Alabama. We have also released Alaska, and Arizona is coming next week on Monday. So it's like every 2 weeks we are releasing a new 50 state series. So it is going really fast. It's been a lot of fun. And these are very engaging, light, but also covering all of your subjects. Unlike a lot of our other mini units, you could do it for a week and it's covering all of your subjects. Eventually, I know some of you have commented on, okay, well, if I was doing all 50 of them, well, if you were doing all 50 of them, that's going to be, if you're taking any sort of breaks in the year, you're talking about really 2 full years of full curriculum. So it's important to note that. Because this covers all of your subject like a full unit. But we will eventually, once we've released them, we will have different digital bundles and things like that. But at this point, there's nothing to really bundle because we're just starting out. So, but we're very excited about this series and they are a lot of fun, vibrant, they're beautiful, and I think really engaging. So, okay, so that's the 50 state series, which I want to make sure you guys are aware of, and we have that all available on our site. The other thing that I think I want to talk about is math. Am I teaching? So the lessons are going to be, it depends what you sign up for. So there's a Tuesday class, a Tuesday, Thursday class, and a Monday through Thursday class. I'm teaching all. So what we're going to do is, for example, I'm going live on Monday. That live will be posted in the app group for people who have purchased the all access. I'm going live on Tuesday teaching lesson 2, and lesson 2, that live will be posted in all 3 of the groups because we've got the Tuesday class, the Tuesday, Thursday class, and the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday class. So all of them are going to get access to the Tuesday class. Then on Wednesday, only the all access. On Thursday, only the Tuesday, Thursday, and all access. Does that make sense? So it is me, it is one live, but you're going to get access to which lessons that is depending on the frequency you purchase. So if you only do, 2 days a week or even 1 day a week, you're going to be always getting that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is lesson 1 to 4. If you join Tuesday, you're going to be getting that lesson 2, and you're going to do 1, 3, and 4 on your own. Then next week would be 5 on your own, 6 you would join us, 7 and 8 on your own. And then of course it would be a little different if you were doing the Tuesday, Thursday. Does that help? I think maybe. Okay. No, the welcome kit is for the continental US only, and it has to be because as soon as we get into pens and ink, we learned this when we were in Canada, stuff like that, you guys, we cannot send across the border. It is all sorts of ink and could be dangerous. And so that's one of the reasons we had to shut down merch when we were up there, because we couldn't find ways of anything that was, mugs or pens, or we had so many issues. So unfortunately, it isn't something that we want to deal with customs around. So yes, that is for the continental US only specifically. Okay. Now, are we ready to talk about math? Are you guys ready? I know this is so much information. I feel like I have decaf coffee and it's heated up with my little heater, my cheap little heater. Rachel, yes, I live in the United States now. How have you not heard this? I guess I don't talk about it all the time, but yes, we have lived here for 2 years. 2 years we have been here in Georgia, and it is very hot and very muggy. So we love it, actually. We really, 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 really love it here. We miss the people in Canada, but we really love it here. So yes, we have been here for about 2 years. Okay, are we ready? Math. Here we go. So some of you may remember that Modular Math, our brand new math series that is now covering kindergarten all the way through grade 9, after I have done some extensive research on what is covered in grade 8, especially those higher grades, 7, 8, and 9. I think we can easily cover everything. We were going to release in November, and the feedback was, that's too late. I mean, what are we supposed to do for math until then? Okay, we heard you. My problem was we have been working on this series for a year. We are about halfway through, and we've been releasing this for beta testers. We have a group of families who signed up to test this series out before you guys got it, and they get it a year in advance. So they have been working on this series with us and giving us different feedback and advice, and we needed to get enough ahead because they take us 2 full months to just create. We needed to get enough ahead that we could get on a schedule of sending them to you guys faster. Our goal is to send them out every, I believe I set the schedule, it's on there. I want to say I did every 6 weeks on the 6th week. And the reason for that is it's designed to be for 4 weeks, 20, I think we have 10 modules, 2 per day. So yeah, basically 20 days. So for those of you who do school 4 days a week, it's going to take you 5 weeks to complete. And then I wanted to have one breathing room week where you would be able to take the placement test for the next one to figure out where your kid would be placed, then get that. So I designed it where every 6 weeks we're going to release a new one. And so I had to make sure, because they take us 2 months to write, that we were enough ahead that we could actually keep up with that pace for you guys with the public launch. Now that I've done the math and where we're at, I think I can release it earlier. And so we have announced, if you go to our website, we've announced that we are actually going to be releasing it the end of next month. So that is a big change. That is something that we've pushed forward. Now I was trying to make sure that with our new printer, we also have time to get that set up and implemented and all of the things in place so that we were ready to be able to handle demand for math. And so that's all those things had to be taken into account before I could officially say we could release any earlier. But now that we do have all the balls in motion, we are going to be releasing Modular Math at the end of September rather than in November. So we have been hard at work on that. And the first one to release is going to be Number Sense, and they will release in the order that we release them for our beta testers. Modular Math is a very unique series. It's designed in a way where we've taken the topics in both a spiral and a mastery approach, but we've broken them up by topic so that we recognize that, for example, I don't know if you guys have run into this problem, but with math, every time we go and we get a new different math curriculum and we take some sort of a placement test, my kids may do really well in all of these areas, but they haven't learned this and they forgot this. And so they're behind in these areas. Therefore, we're faced with a predicament every single year. The predicament is either we push you forward into a new math year to keep you going on this, even though there's a gap that you're not fully understanding, we'll try to catch it up, or we put you back and you're going to reinforce these things and you're going to learn the things that you're missing. Our kids start to fall behind or build gaps, and it's just a homeschool issue, especially if you've tried different curriculum. You'll find that more and more. And so the idea with Modular Math is because we've taken these topic by topic, month by month, and again, there's going to be a review built all the way through, because remember, for example, Number Sense, they're learning about money. Well, they're going to learn about that in the money unit. They're also going to learn how to add money in the addition unit. They're also going to learn how to subtract money in the subtraction unit. They're also going to learn how to multiply and divide money, right? So we're working with these things over and over through these different operations, which brings us a spiral approach. But by separating them, we allow you to take a placement test and say, well, you're here in addition, but in multiplication, we're way back here, and we really need to build a strong foundation. So you may decide that when it comes to multiplication, you want to do 2 of these in a row, which is a month each, to build in some of those gaps and then be able to work. That's my daughter. And this is the daughter who will call me 8 million times if I don't answer. So we'll see if that happens. Anyways, it's a very unique program. I do have the landing page available. I explain a little bit of it. In the next 2 weeks, we are going to be releasing a full week sample so you can see it for yourself. We are a bit behind on that, but it is coming. In the next, I'm hoping by the end of this week or early next week, we will be able to release the 1 week sample. We are going to release the placement test. So you could take the placement test, try the sample, see how it works for yourself. We're going to release the scope and sequence for number sense. So you can see all the different things that are covered through all the levels and how that staging happens. These are not graded. They are by step so that you can place your kids in the step that they need rather than grade. But we've given you some grade equivalencies in the write-up so that you have an idea as a parent, kind of where to start, even with a placement test. So yes, we're working on that. And then we are going to be releasing that next month. So you're going to want to stay tuned for all of those things. For those of you that are wanting to try it out, this is a great, for some of you may want to use it as remedial. Some of you may want to use it, like I said, to, fill in some of those gaps. Some of you may want to use it as a mastery approach. Maybe you're totally happy with your curriculum, but your kids do have some gaps or have fallen behind or are struggling. The other thing that is unique is that we are also releasing skill builders to go along with all of them. So our skill builders, we take one of the lessons teaching and we develop 3 additional practice pages, all just related to that teaching. So again, this gives you ultimate flexibility where you can, and these are digital downloads, where you can say, all right, I'm going to get this math. I'm going to push them forward. They mostly are ready for it, but they forgot Roman numerals. I'm going to grab a skill builder digital of Roman numerals while we're waiting for it to come in the mail so that we're ready to go for this one. And you can fill in any gaps you have. Or you can say, you know what, my kid goes to school or they're already doing something, but they are struggling in these areas. So I'm either going to get a skill builder or a step, and we're just going to work on this to help reinforce some of those things that they're needing some extra support in. So eventually we do want to do online and all sorts of different things for this, but we have a long ways to go. And so we're just in the beginning stages. But I have been really excited about this program. And I do think that it's going to be a big game changer for those of us that are struggling with math. So you're going to want to check it out. That's available on our site, gatheraroundhomeschool.com/math. And you can learn more about it. And then we are going to link there a page to Number Sense, which is our first one. That's going to have the scope and sequence. It's going to have the sample for it. It's going to have additional details, all of those things, as well as what you can buy. So you can just shop from that page. And we're going to do that for each unit as it is released. So yes. Super exciting. There's so much more to say about it. I do have a full hour-long video where I explain it and I show it to you and we actually go into it and I explain placement and grading and all of the things that will also be released on the modular math page when we release the samples and everything else. So I'm working on getting all of those things live so that you guys can have a better understanding of the program, see how it's going to work and what makes it so different. But we are excited. Do you recommend getting seat workbooks for astronomy for every level? You have pre-reader, early elementary, and upper elementary. I would recommend getting the manuscript version for your early elementary and upper elementary, not for your pre-reader. But I personally love the seat workbooks, and I have a number of my kids who started off hating them and love doing them as well. They love that they're learning, really my one daughter, she's like, I love that I'm learning grammar and spelling, but it's just in this little bite-sized pieces every single day. And she's like, I didn't know this, or I didn't know that. She likes the copy work. She likes the consistency. And so I feel like In the beginning, your kids you may get a bit of pushback, but it takes like 5 minutes, 10 max. And just working on vocabulary and intentionally their handwriting and intentionally their spelling and vocabulary. It's just these bite-sized chunks that I personally think is well worth the investment. And over time, I've watched my kids really grow to appreciate them, and they can do them on their own. So it's not like, especially for younger kids, it's not something they have to wait and do with you, which often builds into their confidence and gives them a sense of independence, which is important for our kids as well, and important for us, right? Important for us. Okay. Well, that was a lot of information. If you guys have any questions about any of the things we talked about, we can talk about those things now. I am on lesson 7 of science fiction. This is like, I don't know. I've said it before. I've said the hardest unit I've ever written. I don't remember which one it was for. Maybe Renaissance. But it's challenging, guys. This is a challenging unit. I'll put it this way. Number 1, I don't know how many of you have read Out of the Silent Planet. C.S. Lewis, solid guy, okay? I mean, we're talking Christian theologian that many people respect and admire. He has some things in this book, guys, that I'm going to give you warnings about, and I'm going to say high school. This is high school, okay? This is for your older students. There are some jokes, there are some references that I would deem inappropriate. And so I have been faced with either I can this unit, or I keep going and give you guys all the information and persevere with the fact that some of these things are cultural. Some of them aren't cultural. I'm not really sure why they're in there. But I'm going to tell you about every single one I come across. Okay. So it's been interesting, but the writing, aside from the novel study, the actual writing of it, is philosophy and theology. That's what this unit is. It's really almost university level, I would say. When I'm talking with Jonathan about it, he's like, this is stuff that I didn't learn about till university. I'm like, I have never probably written to this level. I'm used to trying to take complex things and simplify them with similes and examples and all of these things. Now I'm going into a little bit more heady realm of philosophy and theology. I mean, even when we're talking about, aliens, what are the theological, why is that problematic theologically? And so presenting that, and what did C.S. Lewis think about this? And like, just the thinking that's going to happen from this is, just to prepare you. It's pretty intense, but it's fun. And I think that it is going to be, for those of your kids that love science fiction, I think this is going to help them see science fiction through a lens of, I don't think they're going to be able to not see God in everything, because even the things that are godless, I think that we can see how humanity is wrestling with ultimately the big questions of this gap in their lives, of this big question of, are we alone? Why were we created? Like these are big questions that are ultimately coming. Again, that's why theology ties so much into it, coming from this deep desire within each one of us, because we were created in the image of God. And so I think it's going to be a really amazing unit. I know it's taking a while. I've been a little busy with some other things. I've been working in the warehouse a lot, but I am excited about it. I just want you guys to be forewarned that it is maybe not going to be what some people expect. And I would not recommend it outside of high school or a mature middle school. And I will be giving you guys literal quotes of anything that I find concerning. So anyways, oh man, my kids are like, are you going to keep going? I'm like, I have to, I'm invested now. It's happened. And so, here we go. C.S. Lewis. No, this is not, actually, we might recommend it for astronomy. I'm trying to remember if we do, because our goal was to do these at the same time and release it as a book to go along with astronomy. But it was always only recommended for high school, because it was going to be, I knew it was going to be high school, even from the vocabulary. So I'll have to take a double look and see where that recommendation is. But yes, it was originally designed to go along with astronomy. It just has taken me a really long time to write. Number the Stars novel study is going to be out for sure by January. And the reason for that is that we are doing US History 4, which is World War I and II, and we are doing Number the Stars at the same time. It's not included in the Academy bundle because it's not live yet, but we are going to be doing it at the same time. We'll probably do an afternoon book club or something. And I'm doing Number the Stars very different. I have spent literally, I haven't even gotten into it, when I really vision cast, but I'm doing Number the Stars as a book club. So I'm actually not going to do it as teachy. I'm not going to do it as ready. I'm not going to do it as like assignment heavy. Instead, I'm going to do it with lots of discussion questions and kind of ideas around creating your own book club and how to do that. And like, I just want to make it book club style. So I think it's going to be a little bit unique, a little bit different. And the idea is that our kids could maybe do that in the afternoon. Let's say if we do US History 4 in the Academy in the morning, then maybe there's a 1 o'clock class or a 2 or 3 o'clock class where they get together and they do the book club and, I'll have tea and talk about it and what they liked and what they didn't like. And so I think it's going to be unique. And of course, we'll do some sort of a report or something that they're working on as well, some sort of presentation that they would be able to give of this is what I got out of Number the Stars. So yeah, we're also hard at work on, I have a big window here and my daughter is looking through it at me, probably wondering, are you live right now? What's happening? We're also working on weather and natural disasters, and I'm so excited about this unit. You guys, we just had a intensive where we get together with some of our staff and we were vision casting and planning for next year. And we already have some things on the agenda for next year that are going to blow your mind. And I just can't say them right now, primarily because I don't want anyone else to do the same thing. And also because I haven't really taken the time to vision cast. And lastly, it's a little bit far in the future where, I don't want to get anyone too excited right now. So for all of those reasons, I'll just say next year, we're going to continue releasing new and exciting things on top of 50 states and on top of modular math. Once all of these things start going, we have a launch almost every single week. Pray for us. Okay. So there is so much for those of you that are like, what is Gather Round going to do when 4 years are over? Turns out a lot. Okay. Turns out we are doing a lot of things right now and just trying to keep up with it all. So we're very excited about what God has, and we are believing him for more. We are trusting that he has plans and purposes, not just for each one of us and for each one of our families, but for this company as well, for his company and where he wants to take it. So yeah, we're just very excited. I'm excited. I just don't want to do it all. I'm excited about the dreaming and the planning, but the doing is hard. Okay. That is Out of the Silent Planet that we were talking about. C.S. Lewis. Interesting. Will Academy go back to past units like from year 1 or only new units? Oh yeah, Academy, we're going to do a good mix of things. I haven't decided fully what we're going to do for the next year. But I was thinking of one specific, and I'm like, oh my goodness, yes, I want to do this for the Academy, but I can't even remember all of the units. And do you know how many times? Because we've got the scanning system now, okay? So I'm back there working in the warehouse, printing things off, and we just keep going alphabetically through the same units over and over and over again, printing them off in batches and putting them and scanning them onto the shelf. I'm doing these things, and I don't even remember all of the things that we've done. Let's see. There's one specific, careers and trades. Careers and trades would make the absolute perfect, somebody recommended it for co-op because they had like all these different people come in and speak from their perspective. They had all these guests come in. I just think it would be such an amazing one to do. So I would really love to do that in the Academy. We had personally just done energy, so that's one of the reasons I didn't choose it, but I would say energy was amazing as a co-op. So who knows, maybe that will happen or something like that. I will say whatever this new unit is that I have in my head, We will be doing that for sure. It is going to be absolutely amazing. We had personally had already done life skills, but I do think life skills would be a lot of fun, or living off the land, which again, we had also done in our little co-op last year, but I think would also be amazing to do. So yeah, there's a lot. There's so many that we could add into it that it makes it really hard to like narrow it down. But Renaissance and Revival would be amazing. Another US history one. Yes, I am live. Yes, live. You can come in if you want. Yeah, go for it. So yeah, we'll do a good mixture of old and new, and it will be fun. Hi, Aaliyah. Hi. Are you needing something from me?
No.
Oh, okay. There are farming and food, and we have not done it. And dinosaurs. I printed it all, but we didn't do that one either. I would love to do dinosaurs. And hey, Aaliyah did a wonderful recording of dinosaurs with Caleb. Wouldn't you love to listen to that?
No.
Yeah, so we have lots of ideas for 2026, 2027. But for those of us that are doing the Academy for this year, like I said, we are hoping to do Gathered in His Name in person again. If you have any location ideas, originally I was thinking, and maybe this is more for 2027, of like almost a destination, one where we could get a family vacation out of it and, you know, both things, because of course we believe so strongly in that time together as a family. But I also really loved the more intimate feel that we had when we did it at Lake Junaluska in North Carolina. I loved that we were kind of all staying on site and got to see each other, but it wasn't camping. Because sometimes when I've looked at campgrounds, because I've looked at not just campgrounds, but, you know, camps, Christian camps, I'm like, oh, there would be all these activities, but they've got a cabin with 12 bunk beds that, you know, families aren't going to share those. So there's just a lot of logistics to think about. So if you have location ideas, we would love to hear those. Even if you just have, you know, a great church that would be open to renting out. We've contacted some larger churches and just never hear back. So I don't think that a lot of them are super open to outside things, but we would really love to do an in-person Gathered in His Name, maybe at the beach. Okay, I'm just saying there should be water. Okay, water, because we got to do some baptisms. I think we're going to do that again. Anyway, so I think it's going to be really cool, especially for us if our kids are involved in the Academy and they're all getting to know each other and interacting and engaging. So send us your ideas. We would love to hear them. Okay. All right. Well, I think those are most of the questions. Hopefully I caught them all. If you have more, if there were things that weren't answered, I'm sorry. It may or may not have been intentional. Okay. Maybe I looked and I was like, no, I'm not going to talk about this right now. Or I missed it, which is probably more likely. But anyways, you can send in a comment to support@gatheroundhomeschool.com, and they would love to answer the questions that I don't. And hopefully for those of you who are still waiting on your orders, just know we are so incredibly committed, working, like I said, around the clock to get this done. And I personally have spent so many hours in that warehouse working on your guys' orders, and we just pray and bless these books. And we're just excited for you guys and your homeschools and all that God has for you. For those of us for those of you joining us in the Academy, we're excited to see your signups come in. We're going to be ordering those welcome packages and putting those together in our warehouse and mailing those out. And we'll be we're working really hard on setting up all the groups and all of the forms and all of the things so that we're ready to go, because it's starting in a few weeks. So we hope to see you guys there. And thank you so much for joining. And I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. See ya.
Bye.